Story 1. I want a man who is kind, empathetic, and will stay by my side when I am unwell or going through a difficult time. Story 2. My favorites are chubby men with nice voices. Strong, hairy legs are a plus. In terms of personality, I appreciate men who are calm, collected, financially responsible, adventurous, and willing to try new things. Story 3. The kind of men who show affection to their friends. Men with empathy and emotional intelligence. Men who address their trauma. Story 4. Traditional men. Men who do not need multiple women to feel good temporarily. Men who are passionate in a healthy way, if that makes sense. Tough yet gentle with me because I am fragile. Determined men. Respectful men. Open-minded men. Men who know what they want and pursue it. Story 5. I respect any man who works hard and does any job to support his family. Those men are winners in my book. Story 6. I have been single all my life, but I would really like to work things out with a guy who is loyal, caring, and matches my vibe completely. I will try to make his days better, but I just want someone who truly understands and loves me. Story 7. I am usually the type of straight guy who can't really see the difference between men. They all seem similar to me, but Jensen Ackles is the hottest human being on earth. Story 8. One who isn't overly concerned with his masculinity. There is something very likable about men who can show a softer, vulnerable side of themselves. Story 9. Guys who let me pick them up and playfully dominate them. Even if they are stronger, they still let me wrestle them to the ground and laugh about it with me. I've had a lot of luck with skater guys who accept that I enjoy spicy roughhousing and have fun with it. Story 10. Men who are willing to emotionally grow and overcome trauma, while enjoying each other's company and respecting each other's autonomy and boundaries. Story 11. No one likes men except for the gay community. I am simply a slave to my biological programming's desire to be with someone who fulfills that need. At this point, it's almost an illness to be a straight woman. Story 12. In what context is this question? For friends, relationships, co-workers, and others? In general, use kindness, common sense, and a bit of humor. Story 13. Prepares to read several posts where women list the attributes they desire in a man after they already like him. Story 14. My husband is a critical thinker, funny, confident, empathetic, progressive, genuine, reliable, and supportive without being enabling. He is emotionally intelligent, self-reflective, a good communicator and listener, shares domestic labor, and is nice to me. It seems like a lot, but it basically amounts to just being a decent human. We have been together for 12 years, and I have never been curious about another man. Story 15. I want someone with a great personality and a good sense of humor who treats people well. When it comes to looks, I prefer tall men with gray hair, whether it's long or in a stylish cut. I appreciate a nice build and tattoos, but I'm not into huge muscles, just a well-toned body. Story 16. As a bisexual man, whoever said, "Once you go black, you never go back," was not lying. My split personality mother was so mad that I was a boy she treated me like a girl while growing up. Now, at 28, I am receiving direct messages from a 6 feet 8 inches chocolate Hercules. I think I have cheat codes. Story 17. Chubby men with a soft tummy, strong arms, and a hairy chest. They should also be playful and silly, someone who can make me laugh. Loyal and kind. They love to eat delicious foods with me and give big hugs. Soft eyes and a cute smile are essential, and curly hair is definitely a plus. Story 18. The real men who support you, especially during difficult times. The real men who will fight alongside you and guide you to the right path. The real men who do not waste your time. If they see you straying from the right path, they will bring you back to it. The real men. Story 19. Men who make me feel safe are those who go to therapy, treat women as individuals, are friendly to women they are not attracted to, read feminist literature, hug their male friends, and share their vulnerable feelings. They also protest and advocate for marginalized groups and hold other men accountable. And if I am going to date them, they should also be open to exploring new experiences. Story 20. Fictional characters are often more appealing when they are emotionally unavailable, morally ambiguous, or obsessively driven. Bonus points if they have family obligations, a deep voice, or a tendency to write love letters only to burn them out of self-loathing. Real men are fine, but I prefer my heartbreak in paperback. Story 21. I'm married, but ideally my dream guy would have big, burly shoulders and a belly. He would have muscles but also a bit of a dad bod. A nice beard, and he looks best with short hair and sunglasses. Funny with a killer smile and his freckles. Wait, that's just my husband again. Story 22. Non-narcissistic individuals are those who aren't arrogant, vindictive, manipulative, or greedy. They do not prioritize financial gain above all else, and there are indeed many such people around. Story 23. Lizzo expresses a sentiment that resonates with me. I like big boys, little boys, Mississippi boys, inner city boys. I like the pretty boys with the bow tie. Get your nails done, let it blow dry. I like a big beard, I like a clean face. I don't discriminate, come and get a taste. From the playboys to the gay boys. Go and slay, boys. You are my favorite boys. It's the diversity of men that matters. As long as they are honest, faithful, and treat others well, I'm open to them, and I prefer no negative comments about my dog. Story 24. Good looking, and if they have facial hair, it must be well groomed. A healthy body is important, but no excessive weight. Smart, charismatic, charming, and a gentleman. A man who helps a stranger in need, but not financially. Adventurous, enjoys the outdoors, and is not lazy. A man who treats me as an equal and showers me with the same amount of love I give him. I believe men deserve gifts, surprises, and love just as much as women do. Some people mistakenly assume that men must be the ones to do these things, but it should be evenly shared. Story 25. Well, I never had much luck in the marriage and dating arena. My therapist indicated I was codependent, but I really like my two grown sons. They were both college scholar athletes, married to wonderful women who are respectful, kind, and fun to be with. They are devoted to their young daughters, have good jobs, and I visit with them regularly. Does that answer the question? Story 26. I like men from the species of mammal called human from the small blue-green planet Earth. They are mostly harmless. They can be tenderized at room temperature using soft music and a candlelit rose petal-strewn bed. Although it is uncomfortable, you have to wear the suit the whole time. It can get a bit messy if you reveal yourself too soon. Note they can pack a good wallop and are a bit feisty. They are more fun than a barrel full of monkeys. For more recipe ideas, look for the book, How to Serve Man. Story 27. Short intellectuals with a sense of humor and a lot of patience. At least that's who I married. Story 28. I believe loyalty is extremely rare these days, so that is the most important quality for me. If he is also a virgin, that is an added bonus. I would cherish him forever. Story 29. Fictional characters, not real people at all. Preferably a bit or a lot monstrous in appearance, but in an appealing way, though what I find attractive may be horrendous to others. I have desired at least one mummified undead character. Story 31. Evil posh pale British men, fictional. 2. Intimidating tall, sickly pale men who degrade others, fictional. 3. Anyone who resembles my fictional crushes. Story 31. As I have gotten older, I believe my taste in men has changed significantly. I appreciate men who are kind, emotionally intelligent, unafraid to show their emotions or vulnerability, and have a sense of humor. I find men who are nerdy attractive. Story 32. Respectful, patient, problem solver, creative, confident, adventurous, humorous, relaxed, street smart, academically smart, mysterious, level-headed, dangerous, and grounded person. Story 33. I prefer men aged 50 and older. I have a considerable attraction to older partners. I value tenderness and spontaneity, along with a sense of urgency. Good hygiene is important to me. I appreciate a vivid imagination and clear communication. Additionally, If physical attributes are part of the equation, I definitely prefer uncircumcised men. Story 34. Very similar to Stan's perfect man. Story 35. If he has good hygiene, is well educated, enjoys reading, does housework, treats me with respect, is single, and agrees when I say that all human beings should have basic rights, he is already above 90% of the men I have met. I wouldn't even care if he works or not. I can give you the world. Story 36. I would like a man who is truthful, communicates well, and is understanding. He should have a decent job that pays the bills. Additionally, I appreciate a man who has his own hobbies and shares common goals and interests as a couple. Story 37. The ones who look like they were at a rock concert the night before, with their hair a bit oily and wild. Story 38. As a straight man, I would ironically reference an Oscar Wilde quote, "I don't care about good or bad. You're either charming or tedious. I like men like that." Story 39. Someone who has age-appropriate maturity can identify their emotions and communicate them in a safe and respectful manner. They are self-reflective and can take responsibility for their mistakes. It may seem basic, but many men struggle with this. Story 40. Handsome, relatively fit, kind, compassionate, and funny with tasteful humor. He is great in bed, so I refer to him as my husband. Story 41. Good hygiene, intelligence, kindness, and stable employment do not have to be anything grand, and titles do not matter to me. Earning $30,000 a year is sufficient for me. Just be a good person and avoid being unkind for no reason. It is also important to enjoy anime and play video games with me occasionally. While knowing how to play Yu-Gi-Oh is not required, it would be a great addition. Story 42. I like men who are a bit more on the dominant side. They should be kind, intelligent, and loyal. In terms of appearance, I find it harder to define my type, but I tend to be drawn to men with darker features. Story 43. Funny ones. Both as good friends and life partners. Bonus points if he's what gay men would call a bear but likes women. I'm going to be all over those man breasts. Story 44. Just someone who won't cheat. I am attracted to nerdy individuals. I enjoy staying home, so I want my partner to stay with me. Story 45. I prefer stoic men who appreciate affection but are not overly expressive. I admire kindness without excessive softness. I value actions over words and also appreciate those with a bit of nerdiness. Story 46. I am 6 feet tall, and my dream guy is a short software engineer or game developer. He has always been my exact type. Story 47. My ideal boyfriend is Gaius Baltar from Battlestar Galactica. He is brilliant, charismatic, and corrupt yet pliable, driven by desire, and exceptionally ambitious while also being submissive beneath his charming surface. He is someone I could fully express myself with without getting bored or feeling guilty, and who would challenge me intellectually, ensuring I stay sharp. Story 48. Typically, men who are driven and accomplished, make a lot of money, and maintain their appearance tend to be attracted to me. However, they often avoid commitment and can be controlling. So, being single it is. Story 49. I don't have anyone right now. I'm blonde with blue eyes, but I wish I had one of those tall, dark, and handsome older men. I can't find any, so they must be on back order. Story 50. Being forbidden from dating in my teens ensured that in my 20s, I would be trapped in relationships with controlling and deceitful men who led double lives. I am unsure about the type of men I like. I tended to accept when a man wanted to date me and said the right things. I did not realize how attractive I was or how intelligent I could be. It feels strange to read comments where people describe their ideals. All I know is that my ideal does not exist. I hope my child has a better experience than I did. Story 51. I've noticed that I'm attracted to men with a certain expression on their faces. It's in the eyes. A young Al Jorgensen has that look I'm referring to. Story 52. Cute, slim fit, funny, confident, sweet, a little snarky and flirty, loyal, local, monogamous, protective, adventurous. Enjoys anime and cartoons or is at least willing to watch them with me. Story 53. Guys with fun, big noses always have their hands on me. A palm on my leg while driving, a foot touching mine in bed, running their fingers through my hair while we watch a show, touching knees under the table. Story 54. 37 degrees Fahrenheit, tattoos, long brown hair, understands the importance of keeping in shape, emotional intelligence, and a good moral compass. Story 55. 1. Empathic. 2. Faithful. 3. Comprehensive. 4. Mannered and hygienic. 5. Calm and organized. 6. Intelligence and emotional intelligence. 7. Witty. Generous. 9. Considerate. 10. Fears God. I am not looking for a man, but we should all possess these qualities, and we will attract the same. Story 56. I have a soft spot for men who like cats and challenge the crazy cat lady stereotype. A man who talks about his cats is attractive to me. Story 57. I love short men with chest hair. They have always been my type. I also appreciate gentle men. I don't need anyone to be confrontational for me. I just want emotional security and a satisfying intimate connection. Story 58. I like confident men. Additionally, I'm expected to be the prettier of the two of us. Story 59. Attracted to men. No history of domestic violence or child abuse. Not a police officer. Lives in Greater China. Resides in a rural town or wants to live there after marriage. Not religious and does not associate with extremist beliefs. Runs his own business. If previously employed, did not stay long. Does not work in healthcare. Story 60. The kind of person who clearly thinks of women as actual human beings who aren't beneath or above them. Bonus points if they're funny and good with animals. If you mean physically, a guy who looks like a lumberjack without smelling like one. Story 61. Dark hair and eyes, tall, funny, kind, non-alcoholic, smart, sweet, a bit nerdy. Interest in technology and gadgets is a plus. Tattoos are a plus. A love of reading is a plus. Empathetic, has a great laugh, smells good, beautiful eyes, and a deep voice are all positive traits. Being handy in various ways is also a bonus. Story 62. Older men who take care of me can be controlling, which leads me to rebel against them. Believe me, this is not a cycle I want to continue. Story 63. Physically muscular, with a mustache or beard, dark hair, a nice smile and tattoos, a bonus, but not necessary. Characteristics include leadership qualities, emotional intelligence, and empathy. Story 64. The crazy type seems completely normal, well-groomed, and has boring hobbies. Then, when you get to know him, you realize he's just nuts. He can be clingy, extremely introverted, and insecure, but he's also a sweetheart. He isn't into those with anger issues or violence towards family and loved ones, but he is extremely emotional in other ways. That might be a major red flag. On a serious note, I appreciate men who make me feel safe emotionally and physically. Story 65. Interesting men usually have a lot of knowledge about topics that I don't know much about, such as technology, geography, science, and history. I definitely like my nerdy guys. I prefer a shorter guy, 5 feet 4 inches to 5 feet 7 inches, with a dad bod. I'm not keen on beards, but a short beard never hurt anyone. Bonus points if he has long hair and double bonus points if he is thoughtful and educated. But the most important thing is that he has to be funny. Story 66. I appreciate men with diverse interests and hobbies that both overlap and extend beyond my own, providing us with plenty to discuss and experience together. I value intelligent men who have a playful side, maintain good hygiene, and have attractive looks as a bonus. This description fits my boyfriend well. From past experiences, I have realized that I prefer not to be around people who drink heavily, particularly if they become angry while drinking and lack ambitions or a forward-thinking mindset. Story 67. Kind, patient, intelligent, good with children, family-oriented, spends time with family and invites me to family gatherings, in touch with his feelings, empathetic, musically inclined, presents well, romantic, and likes to pamper me. Story 68. Those who genuinely appreciate women, enjoy our company, and seek to be around us without needing to bring us down or wanting to change us can be true friends. It is surprising how difficult it is to find such individuals. Story 69. I like a dark-haired man, around my height or a little taller. I prefer him to be bisexual, but that is not the most important factor. I like him to be somewhere between thin and muscular, but not too extreme in either direction. I also value kindness and loyalty. It is hard for me to find someone who meets all of these standards. Story 70. Great hygiene, principled character, a provider who enjoys taking care of loved ones, ambitious, physically strong, capable of manual labor, dominant and traditional, makes good decisions, and takes responsibility for his mistakes. Story 71. I was at my friend's house when his wife came home from a difficult day at work. She seemed quite flustered and upset. He took off her coat, sat her down in the kitchen, poured her a glass of wine, and started cooking dinner. He said to her, "Talk to me." I thought, this guy knows what he's doing. I would imagine women want a man like that. Story 72. Men like Daniel Radcliffe in the movie Swiss Army Man allow us to live out our fantasies with discarded objects in a forest. Story 73. Manly men exhibit manners and respect for others. They are witty, intelligent, honest, and loyal, especially towards those who reciprocate their feelings. Story 74. I had what I thought was the perfect man, but he left me essentially homeless when I developed a chronic illness because he didn't want to deal with it. I never would have imagined the drastic change he made, and it made me so terrified of men that I haven't dated in 3 years. However, I like men who are genuinely sensitive, accommodating, and patient. I do not like alcoholics or those who use drugs. I value honesty and monogamy. I just want someone who will cook with me, play video games with me, and not get angry when they have to drive me to a doctor's appointment. Story 75. Rugby players always have a certain physique. I think it has something to do with their thighs and backsides. I ended up marrying one. Story 76. Body hair and beards are a must. A man who works with his hands, building things and enjoying outdoor activities. A flannel-wearing, lumberjack-looking, mountain-loving kind of man. I just described my husband. Story 77. You need to be cautious of the humorous individuals. One moment it's laughter, and the next moment you find yourself in an embarrassing situation. Story 78. Please stay out of my personal space and keep your hands and eyes away from my wife. Story 79. Funny, sweet, average to slightly below average height, clean, organized, and leans more towards the feminine side of androgynous. Good looks are preferred, but all of this is flexible for the right chemistry, except for being clean and organized, which is non-negotiable. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.